All right, guys. This is going to be recorded and live, so if anybody drops in, just don't mind them. And if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. And we're just going to get started. And this is a little bit different for me. So if you have like any props available to you, I would go ahead and just grab like a blanket and a block and a strap to have them close by. If you don't have them, don't worry about it. And we're going to get started today just in a comfortable seated position. You can sit up on a blanket if you'd like to just give your hips a little bit more support. If you don't need a blanket though, then don't use it. And once you've gotten settled, you can place the palms of the hands on top of the knees. Sitting up nice and tall, just becoming aware of the spine. Closing the eyes if it feels comfortable for you. Just beginning to notice how you feel on this Sunday afternoon. Taking stock of the pace of the breath, your state of mind, how the body feels today. And when you're ready, you can begin to deepen the breath, lengthening the inhale, holding at the top, and lengthening the exhale, engaging the abdomen at the bottom of your exhale. Creating a slight restriction in the back of the throat. Connecting with our Ujjayi breath. Noticing if this changes your state of mind or how you feel in the body today, just by lengthening the breath. If you have an intention for your practice here today, go ahead and set that now. Otherwise, I'll offer up the intention of feeling connected with your body and purposefully joining the breath with the movement today. When you're ready, we'll bring the hands to heart center. sealing in our intention. When you're ready, we'll exhale all the air from the mouth. Take a powerful inhale and a powerful exhale out of the mouth. Good. From here, we'll place both hands onto the mat next to our hips. And on an inhale, we'll lengthen the left arm up and overhead, stretching through the left side body. Good. Taking a few moments here, maybe bringing in some movement, a little bit up and down. And on your next inhale, coming back through center and coming through to the opposite side, bringing the right arm up and overhead. Maybe bobbing a little bit up and down. Opening up the right side body to the sky. And on your next inhale, we'll come back in through center. And we'll just take this a few cycles on your own, moving with your breath. On an inhale, reaching the left arm up and overhead. Exhaling through center, inhaling, right arm. Exhaling through center, inhaling, reaching the left arm up and overhead. Exhaling through center, inhaling. On your exhale, we'll meet back in through center. And we'll just take a few neck rolls here. So bringing the chin into the chest, rolling. Counterclockwise here to start. You can make small circles or big circles with the nose. And if you find a spot that feels particularly good, you can maybe move a little bit back and forth in that spot before continuing with your neck rolls. Don't neglect the breath here. And when you're ready, you can reverse the circle. And when you're ready, we'll meet back in through center. And from here, we're going to place the right hand on the floor right beside our hip. We'll use our left hand and just drape it over the head. Bring the hand to the right ear and just allowing the left ear to fall over the left shoulder. Breathing here. You can play with the angle of the head here, maybe bringing the chin into the chest a little bit. Noticing how that changes things for you. Good, and when you're ready, we'll come back in through center and move on to another side. So we'll bring the right ear over the right shoulder, bringing the left hand onto the floor and using our right hand now, just scraping it gently allowing the hand to rest on the left ear. You could close the eyes here. Just really using the breath to deepen the stretch here. Once again, maybe playing with the angle of this, bringing the chin slightly into the chest. Good, and at the end of your next breath cycle, come back in through center. And we're going to transition now, coming onto the back. You can bring the feet out in front of you and just gently roll yourself down. Once you get on your back, you can hug the knees into the chest. Maybe rock a little bit left to right. And from here, we'll find some stillness and we'll grab a hold of the right knee and allow the left leg to extend long to the mat. Making sure to flex both feet here. Using the biceps to pull the knee closer into the chest. Good. Maybe rotating the foot in one direction and then the other. Good. From here, grab your strap if you have it, and if you don't have a strap, you can use like a t-shirt or a dish towel. And once you have your strap or any improvised prop, we'll wrap it around the sole of the right foot, extending that to the sky. And you can be as active or passive here as you like. Maybe using the biceps to pull the foot a little bit closer to the face. Deepening the breath here. Noticing if anything comes up as we open our hamstrings. Good. From here, we'll bring the strap or our makeshift prop into the right hand and allow the right leg to kind of gently open up towards the right side of the room. Making sure to angle the right toes towards the floor, and you can bring your left hand to the left hip crease, just bringing some awareness and staying grounded evenly through both hip creases. Couple more breaths here. Good. On your next exhale, we'll bring the right leg back up and through center. And we're gonna just prepare for a twist here. We'll use the left foot, press it into the ground and help us move the hips towards the right side of the mat about 3 inches. We'll grab a hold of the strap in the left hand now and just gently allow the right leg to open up towards the left side of the room. You can extend through the right hand, bring the gaze to the left, to the right thumb. Deepening the breath here. Feeling it travel up and down the spine. We'll take 2 more breath cycles here. And on your last exhale, we'll move the right leg back up through center. We'll pull it towards the face. Once again, noticing if you can come a little bit deeper this time before releasing, and allowing both knees to come into the chest, giving ourselves a nice big hug here, maybe rocking a little bit left to right. Good. This time we'll grab a hold of the left knee, extending the right leg long onto the mat. Reconnecting with the breath, making sure that the shoulders stay away from the ears, drawing both shoulder blades down the back body. Actively flexing both feet. Excuse me. Maybe rotating the ankle in one direction and then the other. Good. We'll grab our strap once again. Look it around the sole of the left foot and gently draw the foot towards the face. Checking in with our feet, making sure that they're both flexed. Good. A few more breath cycles here. And this time we'll allow the left foot to open up towards the left side of the room, making sure that the left toes are angled towards the floor rather than to the left wall. Maybe bringing the right hand to the right hip crease, making sure that we're staying grounded evenly through both the left and right hip creases. Two more breaths. Good, and on your last exhale, we'll bring the left foot back in through center. Use the right foot to move the hips about 3 inches towards the left side of the room and bring the strap into the right hand now. Coming into our twist, extending the left arm towards the left side of the room, and maybe bringing the gaze to the left thumb. And of course, if you're open enough in the hamstrings and you don't need a strap, you can grab for the outside edge of the left foot. Just an option here.
Becoming aware of the breath moving up and down the spine. Actively using the exhale to bring you a little bit deeper into your twist. And trying to stay grounded through both the right and left shoulder blade. Good. We'll take one more breath cycle here. And when you're ready, we'll transition back through center. Just drawing the left foot back in towards the face, noticing if there's any difference in the hamstrings. And we'll release our strap. Just move it towards the side of the mat. We'll draw the knees into the chest. Rocking left to right. Giving ourselves a nice big hug. And from here, we're going to rock and roll the length of our mat. We do this a few times, massaging the length of the spine. Good. From here, we'll eventually make our way onto all fours. Making sure that both hands are directly underneath of the shoulders. The knees are directly underneath of the hip points. And making sure to actively press through all 10 finger pads. Good. We'll just take a few moments here, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, engaging the abdomen, pressing through the shoulder blades. And on an inhale, we'll round into the front body, coming into our cow pose, bringing the gaze up to the ceiling, angling the tailbone up, pressing the feet into the mat. On an exhale, we'll round into the spine, coming into cat pose, doming through the shoulder blades, rounding through the back body. On an inhale, rounding, coming in through cow pose, and exhaling to cat pose. We'll take a few cycles of these on your own, moving with your breath, maybe adding in some movement, looking over the left and right shoulder, feeling that opening in the side body if you choose to do so. And from here, we're going to bring the left hand directly underneath of the face, pressing firmly into that palm, and we're going to open up the right arm up towards the sky, bringing the gaze to the right thumb. And on an exhale, we're going to bring the right hand through this little window we've created, gently coming onto the right shoulder. You can allow the right ear to rest onto the mat. Actively pressing through the feet. 2 more breaths here. When you're ready, we'll come back in through center, opening the right arm up towards the sky once again before planting it back onto the mat. We'll take a few cycles of cat-cow here in between. Good. This time we'll center the right hand underneath of the face and open up the left arm up towards the sky. Bringing the gaze to the left thumb before threading it through this little window we've created and resting onto the left shoulder. You can extend the right hand forward if that feels good for you. Making sure to press actively into the feet. And if you want to intensify this a little bit more, you can make sure to gently press into the back of the palm of the left hand. A few more breaths here. When you're ready, we'll come back into center and plant the palm back onto the mat. We'll take one more cycle of cat-cow here. Inhaling, lengthening the front body. Exhaling, contracting the front body, lengthening the back body. Good. From here, we'll walk the palms forward, tuck the toes underneath of the mat, and slowly press our hips back and up to downward facing dog. Take a few moments to find what feels good for you here. You may need to lengthen your stance, maybe pedal out the feet. This is our first down dog of class, maybe our first down dog of the day. So just take a little bit of extra time to find some movement if you need it. Making sure that we're actively pressing into the fingertips, grounding down through the thumb and index finger. Maybe angling our big toes in slightly and our heels out. A few more breath cycles here. Trying to angle the tailbone up towards the sky. Good. On your next inhale, we'll look in between the palms and gently begin to walk forward all the way up into a forward fold. Good. Your feet can be about hips distance. You can bend the knees actively or keep them straight. Maybe begin to rock a little bit left to right. Allowing the weight of the head to fully release. You can interlace the palms behind the low back and allow the hands to gently come forward, opening up the shoulders. From here, notice where the weight is in the feet, trying to bring it more into the ball mound of the foot rather than the heel. Good. A few more breaths here. You can release the hands if you found them. Just gently bring the hands into the elbow creases. Good. From here, we'll bring the hands to the hip creases, bend the knees slightly, and begin to slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders and head lifting last. From here, we'll bring the big toes together to touch. Getting into our mountain pose today. Making sure that there's a slight sliver of space in between the heels. The shins are actively pressing towards the right and left sides of the room. The kneecaps are drawing up the thighs to engage the quadriceps. The tailbone is tucking slightly in to engage the abdomen gently. The shoulder blades are drawing down the back body, allowing the collarbone to open up to the sky. And the chin is just tucked slightly into the chest to lengthen the back of the neck. We'll take a few moments here. Noticing how you feel in your first mountain pose of class. Good. From here, on an inhale, we'll raise the arms up to the sky, interlace the palms, interlace the fingers except for the index finger, just so you're creating this little like pointer. And on your next inhale, we'll angle the body towards the right side of the room, just coming into a side angle stretch, opening up the left side body, just gently opening the chest up towards the sky. Good. On your next exhale, come back up through center. And same thing now, angling the body towards the left side of the room. Gently pressing the hips towards the right. And maybe bringing the gaze up towards the sky. Good. Exhaling to come back through center. And we'll swan dive forward into a forward fold. Taking a few moments here, maybe rocking a little bit left to right. And on an inhale, we'll bring the palms to the shins, lengthening up into a flat back. And exhaling to a forward fold. From here, we're going to plant the palms and step it back into plank or half plank. Taking a few breaths here to feel the abdomen be strong. And on an exhale, we're going to lengthen, or rather lower down onto the belly, untucking the tops of the feet, allowing them to rest on the mat. Hands directly underneath of the shoulders, elbows drawing in, and on an inhale, we'll lift up to cobra. On an inhale, exhaling, lowering. We'll take this 2 more times. On your inhale, lifting, just using the strength of the back body, pressing the feet actively into the mat. Lowering on your exhale. 1 more cycle. Inhaling, lifting up to cobra. Exhaling, lowering. From here, we're going to tuck our toes, press firmly into the mat with our palms. Press it up through a tabletop position. Tuck the back toes under and press it back through downward facing dog. Reconnecting with our breath here. And on an inhale, we'll extend the right leg back behind us, flexing the right foot. And on an inhale, we'll step the right foot forward up to the right thumb. Gently lower onto the left knee, untuck the toes, and come up. Coming up to our low lunge here, making sure that the ankle is directly underneath of the knee. Maybe lengthening or shortening our stance if we need to. We can bring our hands, interlacing them on and allowing them to rest onto the right
thigh. Just taking a few moments here, allowing the left hip crease to open up. Allowing the chest to stay open. Good, one more breath cycle here. And on an exhale, we'll plant the palms, tuck the left toes under, coming into a runner's lunge. From here, we'll plant the left palm right on the inside of the right foot. And on an inhale, we'll open up to a twist, bringing the right arm up towards the sky. Bringing the gaze to the right thumb. Drawing the left shoulder into the right knee. Good, staying strong in the legs here. Making sure that you're on the ball mound of the left foot. One more breath. And from here, we'll plant both palms. Step the right foot back to plank or half plank. You can lower on the knees if you need to. That's what I'll be doing today. And from here, on your exhale, we'll lower gently onto the belly. And tucking the toes. Lifting up to cobra on your inhale. Making sure that you're using the strength of just the hands. You're not pressing into the mat unnecessarily. Making sure that you're actively pressing into the tops of the feet as well to lift the knees up off of the ground. Take one more inhale here, and on an exhale, we'll lower onto the belly. Lift up through tabletop and make our way back into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths, maybe a few out of the mouth. Just letting that one go. When you're ready, on an inhale, we'll lift the left leg up to the sky, angling the left toes towards the ground. Making sure to actively press the chest back towards the thighs. One more inhale here before stepping the left foot up to meet the left thumb. And gently lowering now onto the right knee. Coming up to our low lunge. Making sure that your heel is directly underneath of the knee. You may need to adjust it. I like to just make sure that I can see my big toe as I look for it on the mat. And from here, we're just going to gently open up our right hip crease now. Becoming aware of the shoulders, making sure that they're not crunching up to our ears. We're just allowing them to gently roll down the back body. One more breath here. And when you're ready, we're going to plant both palms, tuck the right toes under, and lift the right leg up, coming into our runner's lunge before planting the right palm directly on the inside of the left foot and opening up to our twist. Taking an inhale here, looking to the thumb, the left thumb, if that's available to you. Trying to bring the right shoulder blade to the inside of the left knee. And on your exhale, we'll plant both palms and step it back to plank or half plank. Lowering on your exhale to cobra or upward facing dog.
On your exhale, we'll press it back through tabletop and lower the hips to the feet, coming into a child's pose here. Untucking the toes. Pressing the hips back towards the heels. Just taking a moment to reset our breath, reconnect with our intention. Notice any heat that we've built so far. Purposefully lengthening the inhale and the exhale. Maybe you can allow the palms to face up, signaling to your body that it's okay to surrender here. Just a few more moments. When you're ready, we'll come back up into just a seated position onto your knees, if that's comfortable for you. If not, just make sure that the knees are spread a little bit wider, if that's okay. And then from here, we're going to actually tuck the toes under and press the seat back onto the heels. And if that's not okay for your knees, don't do it. We're just going to take a few moments here to open up the feet. You can always grab like a block or a few books and bring them to like the hips so that you have something to press into. Otherwise, if you're okay, you can bring the hands on top of one another, bringing the thumbs together, closing the eyes if that feels comfortable for you. Just a few more breaths here. Good. We'll untuck the toes, come onto the knees, and just gently begin to tap the tops of the feet back onto the mat, allowing the blood flow to return to the feet. Good. From here, we're pressing to the palms, coming back into downward facing dog. Good. Pedaling out the feet here. We'll be here for about 5 breaths. Just noticing how you feel at this moment. Just checking the time. Good. And on your next inhale and down dog, we'll extend the right leg back behind us, coming into a 3-legged dog. On an inhale, we'll step the right foot forward up to meet the hands, coming onto the ball mound of the left foot, becoming almost weightless in the fingertips, engaging the abdomen. And on an inhale, we'll rise up to crescent warrior, maintaining a deep bend in the right knee, making sure that the ankle is directly underneath of the knee, drawing the shoulder blades back behind the heart, Angling the tailbone forward to engage the abdomen. Good. And on an exhale, we'll open up to warrior two. And I'm just going to turn around so that you guys can see me. But we're meeting in warrior two. Gaze directly over the front palm. Drawing the shoulder blades down. Eyes of the elbows facing the ceiling. Making sure that both heels of the feet intersect one another. Allowing the right knee to open up towards the right side of the room. Good, one more breath here. And on an inhale, we'll straighten into the right leg. Shorten our stance if you need to. And this is where if you have a block or a book, you place it on the inside of the right foot if you need it. Otherwise, you don't need to use it if you don't need it. We're coming into a triangle pose. So just really quickly make sure that both heels are in one nice long line with one another. We'll extend both hands once again. Slowly begin to angle the body forward and placing the hand onto the block or on the ankle, or even grabbing the big toe if you need it, or if that's available for you rather. Feeling one nice long line of energy from the heel of the left foot to the tips of the fingers or the crown of the head. Making sure you're not dumping all of your weight into the right hand. You're actively pressing up using the abdomen. And on your next inhale, we'll come back into warrior B. Bending into the right knee once again, maybe lengthening our stance. We'll take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, we'll cartwheel the hands and step it back to plank or half plank. Lowering onto the belly for cobra. On an inhale, lifting up to cobra, and on an exhale, pressing back to downward facing dog. Taking a few moments to notice how that made you feel. And I'm just going to switch, but you guys stay right there. On your next inhale, we'll lift the left leg up towards the sky, angling the toes towards the face. On your next inhale, we'll step the left foot up in between the palms. Make sure that the right ball mound of the foot is directly in line with the ankle. Preparing for our crescent warrior here. But before we lift up, just make sure that you're engaging into the abdomen to become weightless into the fingertips. You have a nice deep bend in the left knee. Then on an inhale, when you're ready, we'll rise up. Adjusting your stance if you need to. You can always make it a little bit wider. That'll help you gain more stability here. And of course, this right leg doesn't have to be perfectly straight. You can have a nice deep bend in it as well. Palms facing one another. We'll take an inhale together here, and an exhale to open up to warrior two. Making sure that both heels intersect one another. Maintaining a deep bend in the left knee. And bringing the gaze over the middle fingers of the left hand. Making sure you're not collapsing into that right knee or engaging. Good. toes of the right foot angling towards the front right corner of the room. One more powerful breath here. And on an inhale, we'll straighten into the right leg. We'll shorten our stance if we need to. Just double checking before we transition, making sure that the right toes are pointed towards the front right corner of the room. Same thing, that you're nice and strong in that back leg as well as the front leg. When you're ready, on an inhale, we'll angle the chest forward, transitioning into our triangle pose, grabbing for the ankle or using a block if you need it. Gaze to the right thumb. You can always extend into a theta here. Staying connected with your breath. And when you're ready, on your next inhale, we'll come back up, transitioning back through warrior B. Gaze directly over the left middle finger. We'll take an inhale here to prepare, and on the exhale, we'll cartwheel the arms forward and press it back through plank or half plank. Lowering onto the belly on your exhale. On an inhale, rising up to cobra or upward facing dog. And on an exhale, we'll press it back to downward facing dog. Good, guys. Noticing all the heat that we've built in the body. From here, we'll take a look in between the thumbs and begin to step or hop forward into a forward fold. Good. Now I just changed where I am so that you guys can see me, but you guys are good at the head of your mat. I'd like you to come into hips. Make sure that your feet are hips distance apart, and you can measure this by just taking 2 fists. And just make sure that you can fit those in between the feet. And from here, we're going to use the 2 peace fingers, grab a hold of the big toes. Make sure to bend the knees a lot if you need to. They don't have to be perfectly straight. On an inhale, we'll lengthen into the spine. Gaze directly in front of you. And on an exhale, we'll fold forward. Surrendering the weight of the head here. Bringing more weight into the ball mounds of the feet rather than the heels. And using the strength of the biceps to pull you forward. Good. We'll release the hands, bring them to the hip creases, bend the knees, and begin to slowly roll up. Good. In our standing position, we'll just bring the feet together, hands at the sides, just taking stock of where you are at this moment. What's changed since you started here today? Good. From here, we're going to bring the palms. Well, actually, you might need to use your hands, so don't bring the palms together, but we're going to just draw the knee into the chest, the right knee rather into the chest, balancing on the left foot, making sure to engage through all of the toes of the left foot, bringing equal weight into the big toe, the pinky toe, and the heel. Once you feel steady, you can draw the right foot onto the inside of the left thigh, actively pressing both of these forces together. You're pressing the left thigh into the right foot and the right foot into the left thigh, coming into your tree pose here. Allowing the right knee to open up towards the right side of the room. Good. And you can place your foot anywhere, just make sure it's not on the knee. Good. So either above or below the knee, just not on the knee. That creates unnecessary pressure. And you can always put your hands wherever you like. You can take a mudra if you want to. You can close the eyes. Be here for a few more moments, just challenging our balance. Trying not to let anything that's happening outside distract you, or anything that's happening in your home distract you. Just bringing your focus completely onto drawing the foot and the thigh together. Good. On your next inhale, we'll draw the right knee back into the chest and place it back onto the ground. You can shake that one out if you want to. Just moving a little bit left to right. Before preparing to move on to the other side, make sure that the toes of the right foot are spreading completely before you begin to lift up the left foot. Drawing the right knee into the chest. You can rotate the left ankle one way and then the other, making sure that the shoulder blades are drawing down and that you're staying strong in the right leg. Don't forget about the abdomen here. That'll really help you in balancing poses. And when you feel ready, you can draw the left foot onto the inside of the right thigh or onto the shin. Doesn't even have to lift if you don't want to. If you're still just new to balance and you want to practice the feeling of balancing on the right foot, you can always just keep that left foot hovering a few inches off of the floor. That's perfectly fine too. Closing the eyes if you'd like. Good, just a few more moments here. If you fall, it's okay. Just make sure to try to come back into it when you feel ready. And from here, we're going to just draw the left knee back up into the chest one more time before placing it back onto the earth. From here, we'll draw the hands up to the sky. And on an exhale, we'll swan dive forward, coming into a forward fold. And from here, we're going to widen the stance, preparing for a yogi squat. Make sure that the big toes are ankling outward and the heels are pointing in. If you have a little bit of trouble in this pose, you can always place a blanket underneath of the heels. That'll help them stay a little bit lifted. If you're kind of coming off of the ground like this, just make sure to place a blanket underneath of the heels. And if you're fine, you can just come right into the pose. Pressing both elbows equally into the
knees, the knees into the elbows. Maybe rocking a little bit left to right. That might feel good for some of you. Stay here for a few moments. I'm just going to get up and to check the time really quick. Good. From here, we're just going to slowly transition onto our bottoms. And we're going to extend both legs wide onto the mat. You can come to lay lengthwise like I am. Just coming into a nice wide-legged forward fold. You can place a blanket underneath of the hips if you'd like. And on an inhale, we'll rise up tall, up through the spine. And on an exhale, we're going to just gently come forward. Don't have to come forward. If you don't want to, you can just practice being here. Just trying to maintain the length of the spine here on your descent if you choose to go. Actively flexing through both toes to protect the knees. Surrender the weight of the head if you'd like. Noticing if you can come a little bit deeper now. And on your next exhale, we'll just begin to slowly rise up. And we're just gonna shorten the length of our forward fold about 6 inches, with both legs. And on an inhale, we'll rise up tall and just slowly moving it forward, noticing if this feels a little bit different for you. You can come a little bit more forward. If not, that's okay. Just making sure to flex both feet. Send both heels into the ground so that both toes are angled up towards the sky. We'll be here for a few moments, so if you need to get anything that will help you be a little bit more comfortable, please do so. At the end of your next exhale, we'll rise back up, shorten our legs about 6 inches in both directions, finding length through the spine. And on an exhale, we'll fold forward once again, making sure to flex both feet. Noticing how as we change the length of our forward fold. May feel a little bit differently in the hamstrings, and it should, because we're targeting different muscles, so just noticing that. And then your next exhale, we'll come back up. Shorten the legs once again. You should be at about like a hips distance in between the feet. On an inhale, we'll rise up strong. And on an exhale, we'll fold forward. You can grab a hold of the shins or the ankles or the outside edges of the feet. Take another inhale to lengthen through the spine. And on an exhale, we'll fold forward. Good. On your next exhale, we'll rise back up. And from here, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. You can, actually, I'd like everybody to kind of like find a little bit of extra distance in between the heels and the groin. That way we can target the outside of the edges of the hamstrings and the hips rather than the inside edge of the hips. Just finding a little bit of extra length here. And on an inhale, we'll rise up tall through the spine. And on an exhale, we'll gently begin to fold forward. And if you're still feeling it on the inside edges of the thighs rather than the outside edge, you can just find a little bit more length in between the heels and the groin. Just gently folding forward, allowing the weight of the head to release. On your next exhale, we'll come back up and we'll draw the feet about hips distance, and we're gonna recline onto our back, just drawing the seat a little bit forward before coming all the way down. Rolling the shoulder blades in together to touch, and we're just gonna windshield wiper the feet now. So moving the knees towards the right side of the room, and then to the left side of the room. And if you'd rather just hold in one position,
you may do so. Otherwise, if you enjoy the movement, you can actively move the hips left to right. Good. From here, we're going to draw the knees into the chest. And we're going to just bring the shins parallel to the ceiling. You can cactus the arms or extend them out long, whichever you prefer. And just coming into a gentle twist here, drawing the knees towards the right side of the room, trying to make sure that the left knee is in line with the right. You can draw the gaze to the left thumb if that's okay for you. And just bringing some awareness into what your shoulders are doing, trying to actively ground the left shoulder blade into the mat. Reconnecting with your breath here. And on your exhale, we'll draw the knees back into center. You can give yourself a nice big hug in between if that feels good to you. Maybe rocking a little bit left to right on the low back and sacrum before bringing the shins parallel to the ceiling once again and drawing the knees over towards the left side of the room. You can bring the left hand onto the outside of the right knee. Very gently feeling the breath travel up and down the spine. Good. On your next exhale, come back in through center. And from here, if you have an inversion in your practice, like headstand or handstand or shoulder stand, you can go to that now. Otherwise, if you don't feel comfortable doing that without like someone to spot you or an instructor being there, you can just extend the legs up towards the sky. Same with the hands. You can stay still here. You can like bring a little bit of movement into your modified inversion. Just staying here for a few breath cycles, feeling the blood flow in the opposite direction. If you want to, you can rotate the hands and ankles in one direction and then the other. Just a few more breath cycles here, guys. Starting to burn for me a little bit. And when you're ready, we'll release. We'll bring the soles of the feet together. The left hand onto the space of the chest where the heart is. The right hand on the belly, allowing the knees to open up. Coming into reclined butterfly. And just taking a moment here to thank yourself for practicing today. You can stay here for your Shavasana. Otherwise, if you'd like, you can begin to extend the legs out long, allowing the hands to rest gently at your sides, palm up, tucking both shoulder blades back behind the heart space, closing the eyes, and letting go of any control you may be holding on to with the breath. Just allowing the body to breathe itself. And if time allows, you can stay here in your Shavasana for as long as you like. Please give yourself the time and the space to enjoy this for as long as you have available. But if you need to complete your practice today, or if you feel ready, begin to bring some small movements back into the hands and the feet, rocking the head left to right to massage the back of the head, giving yourself a nice little massage. We'll bring the knees into the chest and roll onto the right side of the body, coming into a fetal position, closing your eyes. Noticing how you feel here. And using the strength of the arms to press yourself up. Going into a seated position, closing the eyes, resting the palms on the knees. Noticing how good your body feels here. And your mind may have become a little bit more quiet as we practiced here today. Bring the hands into heart center to close our practice. Thank you for allowing me to guide you today. It's been an honor. We'll bow forward. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for joining me for practice today. It's been fun and maybe new for you to join this online class. I'm still kind of figuring out the technicalities of everything. So if anyone has like any suggestions, you can reach out to me at my email. My email is elcheney@asu.edu if you have like any questions about practice or any suggestions for future classes. I'd really love to hear them. Okay, thanks for practicing with me. My name is Emma. Once again, I don't know if I said that in the beginning. This is kind of new for me, but yeah, I'm gonna sign off now. Thanks.